This is 155th Street.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video in my least used station series. For the 11th video, we will be taking a look at 155th Street, which is the least used station on the B line at an annual ridership number of 1,123,868 according to the MTA's 2019 ridership numbers. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and you haven't already. Let's get started. The 155th Street Station, located at the intersection of West 155th Street and Frederick Douglass Boulevard, or 8th Avenue, in the Washington Heights neighborhood of Manhattan, is a 3-track underground local station on the IND Concourse line. Now, I think I need to clarify this before fully getting into the video. Wikipedia lists this station in the Washington Heights neighborhood. However, many people classify this station as the Harlem neighborhood, with the Washington Heights neighborhood only being the upper level of 155th Street. Behind the entrance to the station is the Polo Grounds Towers, which are public housing projects. These towers were built on the site of the old New York Giants baseball field back in 1968. Across the street from the towers is the world-famous Rucker Park, a basketball court. This basketball court was featured in multiple movies and shows, and many NBA players have actually hooped in this park, like Kevin Durant, Wilt Chamberlain, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Back to the station itself, it has a large mezzanine, typical of an IND station, with a cross-platform transfer being available here. The reason for the big entrance and mezzanine may not only be because of the IND's love of large mezzanines, but however to handle the crowds from the New York Giants games at the Polo Grounds Stadium before it was demolished in 1964. The only reason this is the least used station on the B line is that it is a rush hour only station, with the D train mostly providing service. The reason the ridership in general is low at the station though is that many people would just rather walk to the 145th Street station on the A, C, B, and D lines, or the 148th Street station on the 3 line. Growing up in the area, I found even myself doing this and just walking to 145th Street for the extra options. The station was first opened on July 1st, 1933 as a part of the IND Concourse line, which was one of the original IND Subway lines. The Concourse line consists of 12 stations over 6.5 miles between Norwood 205th Street in the Bronx to 145th Street in Manhattan, where it connects with the IND 8th Avenue line. Originally, the B train didn't even serve this station, the C train did. On March 1st, 1998, the B and C trains switched terminals, with the B now running to Bedford Park Boulevard and the C now running to Washington Heights, 168th Street. Just upstairs from the station, on the upper level of 155th Street, stood the 155th Street station on the IRT 9th Avenue elevated line. The station was originally opened in 1879, with the line running between 155th Street and 116th Street. Over the years, the line was extended to its eventual full length between Anderson and Jerome Avenues in the Bronx, where it connected with the IRT Jerome Avenue line, or the present-day 4 train, and South Ferry, where it connected with the 2nd, 3rd, and 6th Avenue elevated lines. When the IRT was eventually purchased by the city in 1940, service was discontinued and the line was closed and demolished. Only a small spur between 155th Street and Burnside Avenue on the Jerome Avenue line continued as the Polo Grounds shuttle. The line was cut back a year later in 1941 to 167th Street, and a part of the line where it connected with the Jerome Avenue line still exists to this day, and it can be viewed just north of the 161st Street station behind Yankee Stadium. The Anderson and Sedgwick Avenue stations also exist to this day, although they are both abandoned and receive no upkeep from the MTA. Service along the Polo Grounds shuttle ended on August 31st, 1958, due to the New York Giants baseball team being relocated to San Francisco and passenger services ending on the Putnam division of the New York Central. During the time the shuttle was in operation, paper transfers were issued between the IRT and IND stations at 155th Street. Currently, the station is served by the D train at all times except rush hours when it runs express past the station in the peak direction, and B trains, which stop here during rush hours on weekdays. During midday hours, the B is cut back to 145th Street, one station down, and during late nights and weekends, the line doesn't run at all. Hopefully you enjoyed this leased use station video. I decided to include some more information about the area around the station, like Rucker Park, as it is a pretty important landmark in the neighborhood. I also wanted to talk a bit about the IRT 9th Avenue Elevated in this video, as I felt like it was relevant to the purposes of this video. You may be wondering why I made a video on this station, being that it is only served by the B train during some parts of the day, but I say that the station still counts as at least used. Just like 75th Avenue in the last video, if the route bullet is shown on the station entrance, it counts. With that being said, if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more of this type of content on the channel, like and subscribe. Peace.
This is a Manhattan-bound D train. The next stop is 55th Street.